what would your next steps be? If you were the president, what would your next step be? Gabriel, I'll go with you, and then Mike, you can take a swing at it as well.
If I want, I mean, right now what President Trump did was a great first step, but now we actually have to see some meat behind the plan. I want to see some members being that are being arrested and charged with domestic terrorist laws to really look at their networks, because oftentimes you'll find connections to either politicians or other networks that are much more active than just that one individual. So that's really what I would do. Every single person who is being arrested, we have to investigate their affiliation. For example, there's this kid, 20-year-old kid who was arrested, whose parents marched with him to surrender himself to the police because he started some riots. A lot of people may have not noticed, but the bandana he was wearing had the ALF logo, which is the Animal Liberation Front, which was incredibly active in the 90s. And that they were being prosecuted back then as domestic terrorists. So I'd be very, very curious to know if he had any connections to those groups and see what they are up to.
That's a sharp eye, Gabriel. I appreciate that that little tidbit. Mike?
Well, there are a lot of things to do. First, you have to round up a lot of them, so not a few of them, because you can't have identifiable heroes among this who become cult figures. So you have to round up a lot of them, and the law demands that this be done. So that's just the street level people, but the street level people aren't the ones who are making this happen. It's the funders. And we have to go after the funders who are funding a organized criminal conspiracy to cause economic destruction and to assault people and to commit acts of murder. This is the same thing you use to go after the mafia. And while I think it's very important to pursue counterterrorism methods, anti-terrorism methods, anti-criminal conspiracy methods are just as effective and could even be more effective. This means going after the billionaires and the foundations and even some of the Hollywood people who provide material support for these movements, fully knowing where the money is going.